talking to Tim and Angela Copley in their home on their earliest memories, both in Ballyfermot and where they grew up.
That whole abuse thing started by one lad who came in to me. I had been helping a lad who had come out about what happened to him as a child. And Tony Walsh was the culprit. And then I heard about another one and I thought, oh Jesus, I couldn't believe that there was two. And then more came. And I think the worst one of all was a lad that came into the resource centre one day. Word went around that I gave them a cup of tea if they were hungry or anything.
I know what you mean, yeah.
And I used to say to the girls down in the kitchen, it didn't go down too well with the supervisor in the kitchen, but I didn't care. I was the boss and I was making the decision. Like, the food was not to be thrown out. It was the good people were individuals that slept under the sheds in the resource centre. And I purposely, when I went to work there, I went down there at 8 o'clock in the morning for a couple of mornings, and I'd say to them, I haven't got a problem with just being here as long as you clean up all your mess before you go. There's a bin over there, put your stuff in the bin. But if whoever leaves a mess, they lose their space. And that was it. And there was never a bottle left out after that. You know. But we'd give them out, leave them out wherever the food was left there on the tray, and just to be delighted.
I know what you mean, yeah.
And the trays and all be put over into the bin. And that's why the word went around if they were in trouble, go in, and I suppose they were saying she's an easy tap in there.
And would there be much opposition against you from the people? I know there would be from the church, but I would see it from the people as well, what you were doing,
because I was encouraging low life.
Yeah.
You know.
And these were people that were being abused as well.
People. And as I always say, Ken, people can walk down the main road to Ballyfermot or any other little town in Ireland. I only say about Ireland, I don't, the world I suppose. And you can look at somebody, and I mean you can walk down the main road to Ballyfermot and you can look at them falling around the place and staggering and this, that and the other, and you can say to yourself, you can call them all the scumbags, and you can say, I suppose he robbed my house last night, not realising the state he'd look in today, he wouldn't have been in the state to open a door with a key, let alone break into it. But that was the mindset of people, and they never taught what put, and I'm not saying the church put everybody in that, but believe you me, they put a lot. A lot of the lads that sit down there on that main road, and a lot of them that are up in Palmerstown that nobody knows why,
I know what you mean,
are because of what went on in Ballyfermot. And I remember the first time I went up to Noel Keane, and I said to him, he was the chairperson, I said, a lad has come in to me and told me, you know, what has happened to him. And I said, he's in an awful state. He was living in the family home, but his mother and father were dead. He owed the gas company, he owed the ESB, he had all these bills, he had his security job that he hadn't a clue how to do anything for himself, and he was filthy, absolutely filthy. And the poor thing, and he kept his head down like that all the time. And the only thing that you could notice in the poor thing, he'd huge big blue eyes that when he looked at you, they were nearly crying. The sadness in him was unbelievable. And he was a Tony Walsh victim. And I got a few bob, to be honest with you, off the board to try and sort him out and get him a few things. And then I brought him up to, it was Comac at the time, Cherry Orchard Money Advice. And they took the bills and they got on to the gas company, the ESB, and there was a money lender involved. And then we got it all sorted out and they worked the budget plan for him, right? Yeah. And I said to him, look, until you get on your feet, come down here every day and have a bit of dinner. And he said, no, I wouldn't come, they'd all be looking at me. I said, well, I meet you here every day for lunch.
Yeah.
So I'd meet him, he'd have his bit of dinner, he'd talk to me. And I felt that there's another day that he's alive and you know. But then he met somebody up the road who said to him, Jesus, you're looking great, where did you get the clockers? No. The charity shops were very good when you go. Noel, do you remember Noel? They used to be in St. Vincent's charity shop.
No, I didn't know. No, I didn't know.
And it's not, yeah, he was very good. He used to bring clothes down to me for the fellas. And so yeah, he was sending others down, and that's how, to be honest with you, that's how the first 7 lads went to court.
Yeah. And did you yourself, did you get any advice how to manage this, or
no?
Like people seem to just come to you and you had to take all this on board?
Yeah. Truthfully, I had started to do a counselling course, but like I was only started in it. I never finished it, to be honest with you, because I had to make a choice on which way I was going to go. And once the board were okay for me to do that, it meant I worked much longer hours because I still had to manage the resource centre. That was my
bread and butter.
My job, to go in and do that and make sure. But like, these people came to the resource centre for help, and when I took that on, I didn't think there would be. I didn't ended up going to court with them and going up to sort out stuff, like for some of them going to their families to say, do you know this happened to you? This is why your child is like this, you know, because some parents they didn't know how to react to it. A terrible thing for a parent to be told.
So when you would approach the priest and tell the priest this, you know, that there's a certain priest abusing, what would they say? Would they?
Come here, I'd say I was so shocked just before I went to work in the resource centre, and I was so shocked about it that I talked to Father Dave Lumsden up in St. Matthew's. He was a great friend of mine, and then Dave used to come over here for a bit of dinner. You know, we'd have him and Tim used to have great chats. You know. And I talked to him and I said to him, you know, I don't know where to go with this, but I said, I think the Archbishop has to be made aware of it. And he said to me, yeah, you're dead right. So he said, ring up and make an appointment and if you want to go over and see them. And during that time there was a girl of Kylemore Road, Lorraine O'Keefe. One of the lads in the group was engaged to her niece. So she came up to me and she said, if you're doing anything, you know, I'll go with you. So the first time I went on my own over, and I rang up and made an appointment to go to see the Archbishop, as I thought. And Tim drove me over, and when I knocked on, you know, the main door, and I said I was here to see the Archbishop, and I come back down the steps and moved around. I was brought around the side and in and down a long, dark, dingy corridor. Now Dermot Martin has a completely different network. And I was brought into a little room, and it was all extensive, right? And he said, who's with you? it was afterwards it was said to me, he taught you how photographers and all there. And I said, my husband's sitting outside in the car. And he go, oh, you should bring him in and have a cup of tea. I said, no, he doesn't want a cup of tea in here.
Yeah.
I'm here to ask you, do you know what's going on? I didn't know he was the horrible person that he is at this stage.
Yeah.
So I up and tells him what's going on in Ballyfermot, and this certain priest, and he's going around and he's drunk, and he was actually following one of his victims to his place of work.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he was really, and he was sitting, I'd never forget that day, and the girl had brought in a tray, and there was glovelets on the tray, and tea, right. Now I had a cup of tea because I was actually to keep myself, but he kept saying to me, have a club milk. Club milk. When telling him a horror story, he was looking at chocolate biscuits and telling me to eat them. And I ended up saying to him, I don't want your fucking chocolate biscuits. We have them in Ballyfermot. I said, I want you to hear what I'm saying, what's happening in Ballyfermot, and where is the Archbishop. And he said, you don't need to be interfering with that. You're a good Catholic, go home and look after your children.
He said to you?
So that was it for me. So, came out and I said that was a total waste. So I said to the lads, listen, you know, you've all made your statements now, so the best thing to do is we get the papers involved. And maybe then they'll listen.
Yeah.
But they didn't. They were still being... Not until it was December when 1997, I think, when Tony Walsh was sentenced, yeah. And I think that was when the penny dropped at them. There was a huge media presence in the court. Well, it wasn't just for him. That swimming coach was in the court that day. Yeah. He was up for hearing Tony Walsh was being sentenced. And after that, Desmond Connell was, he talked to Dr. Dave, and he said to him that he would like to meet the group of lads. Now, by this stage, the group that was 7 had become about 16, because they were, and it was, what I put it, what I said was that the group were there to support each other, you know. I was facilitating the group, I wasn't leading it, and I wasn't giving advice or anything, but what we did need was, we needed counselling, and we needed, the lads couldn't afford it.
Yeah.
Some of these lads, like, were married with young children, and all this was coming out. It was a horrible, dreadful time for them. And so Desmond Connell said to Father Lumsden that he'd like to come out and meet the lads and meet me. And he wanted to come to the resource centre. Now, we had our meeting in the resource centre on a Monday night, and I stopped any other meetings on a Monday night for that reason, because reporters, when it went out that I worked in the resource centre, reporters were coming out into the place every day and would talk to us about it. And what was there to talk about? Like, to me, it was out there. The thing to do now was for the church to clean up its act. And nobody wanted to talk about that part. Everybody wanted to talk about what had happened to the lads. It was horrible. anyway, I had done this purposely. There was one group who I knew very well, who I knew not one of them would say a word, and they were one of the addiction groups, and they met upstairs in the resource centre. We met. They came in the door and they turned left. We came in the door and we turned right and went into the big room. So we went, and it was for that reason that reporters couldn't be there, because there was reporters hanging around. I think if they saw somebody that looked a bit scruffy, they were going asking them, "Are you?" and they were told about it. People went through an awful thing at that time. But also, Desmond Connell put out that he wanted to come to Ballyfermot and do a healing mass, right? And so, so the parish council wherever they are said, yeah, no problem, and they arranged the healing mass for after Christmas. And we said the group, we'll go to it just to see what happens. One of them in the group would have loved to go up and say, "I am who I am," and I this, that, and the other. But we said, "No, we won't. Just we'll go in, and we won't even all sit together." But I did say to Joe Cat, I'll be at the mass on some of the lads, and he said, "I'm delighted." And that night we were coming out of the church, and Desmond Connell was in the porch, and we were shaking hands, and people were kissing and swaying and all that. And I'm walking out. Tim was with me. We're walking out, and there was a few of the lads behind. And Joe kept pulling me over, and he said, "Grace, this is..." And he took, "Now give me your hand, Ken, I'll show you." He had my hand like that, and he said, "Angela Copley," and he went like that. And that girl, I was telling you, Lorraine, she was standing behind me. She went, "Oh my fucking Jesus!" In the church. He dropped my hand.
Oh my God,
just like so poor Dr. Cassie, when I got home he rang me and said, "Angela, I'm so sorry for embarrassing you." And I said, "You didn't embarrass me." He embarrassed himself. He's too stupid to know what he done. And you didn't. But
so fair play, Father Ket was on your side as well,
he saw the huge injustice to the lads who did Ken, and he never once queried. And there was a nun that taught in St. Gabriel's School, Sister Mary Moriarty, and the Dominicans wouldn't allow her to go on television and say it, but she told me that, and she would say that, if she's still alive, I'm sure she'd say it now, she went on one of the Alta trips down to Kerry, only when she was bringing the Alta to Kerry, or Ennisgrove. And she came home exhausted after a week, because she never slept one night, running in and getting the kids out of this mobile home. And no one listened to her. And nobody wanted to hear those stories. But anyway, whatever happened when he went back, or whatever, it was in the paper the next day what he'd done actually. And whatever happened with him, and he said to Father Dave, "I don't know, I got such a shock when I met Angela Copley. It was like me," and Father Dave told you, "it was like meeting a celebrity." But that wasn't what he was shocking. He probably didn't know whether I was going to punch him or not, and I did, because he knew I had a huge anger at what I was hearing. So he wanted to come out and meet the group with me, and he wanted to come to the resource centre. And I said, "There's no way, because everywhere he goes, he has a press release to where he's going and what he's doing. And I had moved so much to protect them on a Monday night that there was no way was I going to let him drive into the... Sure, they know immediately, you know, he's going wherever his press people. So I said, no, not in the resource centre. But a letter came as well. God, I should have got the letter out. I must get it out and give it to you. From him telling me that he was talking to Father Dave about the wonderful work I was doing with the young lads and all. It was a handwritten letter, right? And in the letter was a cheque for £1,000. There was no reference to it in the letter, but in the envelope was this cheque, what was made out to me. And I was absolutely furious. It was like, you know, here's a nice letter, and you're talking real nicely. Now take this money and go and shut up. Or there might be more of it. I don't know what he thought. I don't know where. And I mean, it just happened that I got the letter on the Tuesday and we had a board meeting that Thursday, and I brought the letter into the board and I asked the secretary to read it. Even though it was addressed to me, but and then I showed them the cheque and I said, I want to lodge it to the resource centre account, but I want it acknowledged in the minutes that that's what I'm doing with it, you know. And one of the board members said, no, that's yours, that's for you. And I said, no, it's not mine. I would not take a penny off that man. I said, but I know what he's trying to do. I said, that £1,000 will go some way towards the bits of dinner or whatever that the lads would have in the resource centre, or the tea and biscuits every Monday night, whatever. We were never short of, because people were always dropping me in boxes of sweets or biscuits, bring that into your group, you know. But thinking like that he went that far, but he came out then the week after that. Tim?
Yeah.
I thought you were coughing in your sleep.
No.
He came out a week after that to Father Dave's house on the Saturday afternoon, and we were all up there. And we went into the room, and he was sitting over kind of in the corner. You know the way he sits, kind of really grumpy and grumpy. And he called his chancellor's name, John Dolan, over to him, and he was whispering in his ear, which I thought was extremely rude. If he wanted to say something to him, he should have got up and left the room and said it inside. Anyway, John Dolan came up and said, can I see you for a minute? And I said, yeah, sure. And he said, I stood up off the chair and walked out, and he said to me, His Grace doesn't want you to go there. Prime Minister doesn't want you to go here. The lads mightn't want to talk in front of you. And I said to him, John, do you realise that they're in here today because they told me their whole story? I said, Saturday afternoon, I'm a working housewife. I would much rather be at home in my own house now, doing what I normally do on a Saturday, than up here. And I said, it's not his call. I'm here to support the lads. So I said, we'll see what they say. Oh God, no. Oh, yes. I said, and I just stormed back into the room. I said, lads, I'll be sitting over in the kitchen. I'll have a cup of coffee with Father Dave, because the Archbishop doesn't want me in the room, which is he thinks that I might get upset by what I hear. And one of them stood up first and said, well, if you're not here, I'm not staying. And then they all stood up and did the same thing. And one of them turned around and said, you won't hear what she has heard from the
Yeah.
one of us. So he said, oh, I just said, look, get on with the meeting. When he was gone, he said, he was out in the hall and he said to me, I have this patronising, I have to thank you and for what you're doing and the lads, they this, that and the other, and I just don't know what to do.
That's what he said to you.
And I said, well, what do you mean you don't know what to do? Because he had made a terrible statement on the radio the week before. I said, you heard what you heard in there. You know exactly what all those lads have gone through. I said, you knew that before today, and if you didn't, well then you need to be sacking your man over there, Stenson. I wouldn't call him Monsignor for God the man. I said, because he has known about it, and I have been over here, and I've been brought down through the dungeons to sit in his little stinky room. I said, and you see, we have chocolate biscuits in Ballyfermot, by the way. He was, oh, I just don't know what to say. I said, well then you shouldn't open your mouth at all. Until you turn your brain on. I said, but you have no right to it. And he said, and I got such a shock when Father Cat said to me, you were Angela Copley. And I said to him, you should not read the paper. Because my photograph had been in the paper for about 3 weeks beforehand. But that was, and then again now another one of his letters. And if anybody ever needed financial assistance. Now, I never took him up on that because I never trusted him when he said it. Because I knew he had a mission to get the lads on their own, to twist them. And they were all too vulnerable. But I have to say, when Dermot Martin came on board, when he went and Dermot Martin came on, everything changed completely. I mean...
You found him to be a good man.
I did,
He listened,
He listened, and I brought so many of them lads over to him, and he lads that missed out on educational stuff because of their abuse, and he had no problem paying for college or even for their children. Because you see, people forget, for an awful lot of them lads, when all this came out, their children would have been teenagers. And it caused kind of hurt and pain in families,
people didn't want to say it either to their kids, or didn't want
That's
to
what I mean. And then when the kids realised what it was, like they were kids putting 2 and 2 together, like me, man, they weren't here, they were out being late on court days or something. That's how some of them, and it did cause a lot of pain but as I say, they're I suppose it's better. Yeah.
And anyone that I talk to, Angela, that were abused, and they tell me, they refer back to yourself and they have the height of praise. I think you know that yourself,
Only just, as I say, like, when you think of the power that the church had over people and what they do, it's horrible, isn't it?
Because you're a great one to take it on.
I would have loved to have done more now, I really would, because there's still an awful lot for equality for people, and not even going through the court systems. Sometimes you're sitting, judges are sitting there and they're looking and you're saying, I know he doesn't need, especially with Tony Walsh, like I've heard all this all before,
Yeah.
And they're not thinking that that human being that's standing in there, for everyone, I say, that stands in front of the judge for Tony Walsh alone, there's about 3 or 4 suicides that they didn't get to court.
Yeah.
You know, because families came to me that their sons had died by suicide, and they're telling me stuff. And I mean, I'm not clairvoyant or anything, and I can't say, yeah, your son was abused by Tony Walsh, but the behaviour and all the whole modus operandi of it kind of tells you.
Yeah.
That's why they've done it, you know, because as sure some of the lads that were in the group would have got such horrific guidance from their parents when they said what the police were doing.
Yeah. So you're really up against some of the parents as well as the church, you know what I mean? Yeah. And you were on the side of your good, yeah.
Yeah, it was horrible.
Did you ever think of writing a book?
I often did, Ken, yeah, and then she didn't get time.
Yeah, I know. Angela, the only thing I'll say to you now is, anyone I've spoke to, and you know the people I've spoke to that have been abused, they have nothing but the height of praise for yourself and Tim, what you took on. It's been, you know, without any help, you took it on yourself to do, and I know they can't be more thankful. Like they're always praising you anytime I'm talking to them, you know.
Well, you know, the satisfaction for me and for us all here is that when I see them walking up and down the road, and that they're not walking towards my house because they need to come for a chat, that they're fine and they're back to being lovely, capable adults, and what Tony Walsh tried to take away from them, you know, has been restored for a lot of them, you know, and they're able to walk around with dignity, and to me that's worth money.
And that's fair enough,
yeah, that's...
And just to finish off now on a more sombre note, I suppose, I know you've been here from day one, in the house down below and all, and right through, you saw the house being built. What do you think is the best thing that you have seen happen to Ballyfermot in all your years there?
The best thing that happened to Ballyfermot is, I think, pre-partnership coming into Ballyfermot, enabling local people to have a voice in building their community, and enabling them to have a voice by the training that was made available to local people, and also the money that came on stream to carry out, to make the dream a reality. And to me that's ongoing, because, you know, when I was young, growing up in Ballyfermot, there was no such thing as youth clubs or after school clubs or heritage groups, you know, photography groups, the different sports groups, everything that's there, that to me that garnishes a community together, I think is there now, and all Ballyfermot have to do now is continue to ice their cake.
Okay,
That's what I feel.
And thanks for that. On behalf of myself, Sean, all the Ballyfermot Heritage Group, I want to thank you for taking this few hours out to talk to us today.
I enjoyed it, Ken.
It was great.
Yeah,
it was great. Thanks very much for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, appreciate that.